Okay, so I just wanted to start off this video by saying it seems like lately it's never possible for me to be happy. The only thing that does keep me happy, well, many things keep me happy, but one of the only things that keeps me happy is Nick. And maybe it's my own fault that I'm dependent on a guy to make me happy, but that's just how it is, and I can't go back now. Me and him have been together for 2 months, and he basically wakes me up in the morning, puts me to sleep at night, um, talks to me throughout the whole day. I mean, it's the typical relationship, and it just seems like it's always vulnerable to get fucked up, and it is right now. His birthday is in less than a week, and I intend that day to be absolutely perfect. And I even wrote him a 7-page letter, which I'm about to read. But of course, today things get fucked up. Um, I love this kid with all my heart. So for those of you who are watching this, understand that I may be almost 16 years old, but the feeling I have for him is beyond my control. It's beyond words, it's beyond comprehension, and I know I've said relatively similar things about other people, but that doesn't mean I always mean them. And I will take ownership for the fact that I sometimes say things I don't mean, but this time I feel like it's real. And I think I know what love feels like, and this is similar, if not better. And sometimes people can't get over themselves and have to destroy what they can't have. It's almost like a jealousy thing, kind of like half jealousy, half selfishness. I don't know. But what I do know is people need to stop being angry over what they can't have and angry over the decisions that, not the decisions, but the events that have taken place in their lives, and realize that just because something bad happens to them doesn't mean that it has to happen to someone else. Fate's a funny thing, and you have to get over it sometimes because everything happens for a reason. And just like tonight, something may happen for a reason. Sometimes you can explain those reasons, but you have to like build a bridge and get over them. That's just how it is. And I mean, I haven't been happy in I don't know how long, and I think it's time for me to be happy for once because not only have I put up with an abnormal amount of bullshit in my life, but I've dealt with enough. I've seen, done, been through, coped with an insane amount of stress, an insane amount of bullshit, and I think it's my time to actually have a good time in life, to actually be happy. And I don't think it's right that other people, because of decisions and choices that I've made, have to judge me on them and go after what makes me happy in life. If what I'm about to read you tells you that I'm bullshitting, then I don't know what else to say. I mean, someone told him that I cheated on him. That's not something to joke about. My own father cheated on my mother, and I will own up to that. And I don't tell many people that, but I trust you guys. And why would I cheat on someone I absolutely adore beyond comprehension, just like my own flesh and blood, the creator of my life, did to my own mother? I'm sorry, but you don't know me, you don't know what I'm about, and you never will because you don't deserve to. So don't go make up lies about me because you're uncomfortable with yourself and your own actions. It's just not right. So, on that note, I will read you my letter to him. If you think I would cheat on him after I wrote this 2 nights ago, if not, no, 1 or 2 nights ago, if you think I would cheat on him, you're fucking insane. And you need to get over yourself. That's all I have to say. Therefore, continuing on. Nicholas Alexander Gallus. Growing up as a little girl, I had an idea of what love would be like. I didn't picture a beautiful girl with porcelain doll features that was with an extremely attractive, buff kind of guy. To me, even as an adolescent, that seemed so unrealistic, and it is. I realized as I got older that you can never predict your love life or what's going to happen next. You can't predict who you're going to date in high school, or who you're going to marry, or who's going to have your children, or whose last name you're going to wind up having. You as a person don't have the power to decide all of those aspects. And what does? Fate. And fate, darling, is how I met you. And I thank God every day to be this lucky. Just being around you that day we met, I just knew. I knew there was a reason we had such a strong connection, and still do. It gets stronger every day. I looked at you that day when we were in the ocean together and saw the missing part of me that I had been looking for the past 15 years. I saw what potentially could have been everything I'd ever wanted in a boyfriend, and if not a boyfriend, then a best friend. Walking together to 7-Eleven, I checked you out, and I checked you out really hard. When I have a feeling, I go right after it, and I always have to make sure it's not a false alarm. And thank God it wasn't. I looked at you and I felt like I was looking at one of those kids that every girl throws themselves after, but they can never get. Well, knowing that, I tried my absolute hardest to play hard to get, but it didn't work, and you got me eventually. They were both... Oops, sorry. Krista came first and so did Matt. They were both roadblocks, reasons that we couldn't be together. Yet. Although we had other people in our lives, we both knew, and very well, that we had a thing for each other, and we both knew better than to act on our feelings just yet. First came you and Krista. You were just being you and kissed Olivia on the cheek. And then came me and Matt. He didn't want to be with me because he didn't think it would work, and thank God it didn't. Eventually, you and I became really close. You opened up to me about your ex-girlfriends, and I told you secrets that I never thought I could express to anyone else. From that night on, we talked every night for hours on end, and night after night I fell harder and harder, hoping you were doing the same. When I was going to move, it was the hardest thing I ever had to tell someone. It was like I was losing a part of me, and not one of the small parts, one of the biggest. I knew for sure I was never going to fall so hard for another person that quickly ever again, especially in a totally different state. You didn't know it, but every night, whether it was 2 single tears or trillions, I cried every night over the fact that I was leaving you. Fortunately, fate came in and stopped me there. There was a reason there was a scare of me moving, and a reason I didn't. After a couple BBMs and a couple midnight phone calls here and there, we started hanging out almost every day. We realized from the first few seconds that we couldn't find it in us to get tired of each other. We couldn't go 3 seconds without a kiss, and we couldn't go 1 second without hearing each other's voices, and even now, that's obvious. After all the kisses, pictures, arguing, crying, bitching, and hand-holding, we're here now right where we should be, and I wouldn't have it any other way. You are the best thing in my life now, and you are what gets me up in the morning and puts me to sleep at night. I'm constantly wearing the smile you've given me, and for the first time in a very, very long time, it's truly real. You've become my topic of almost every conversation I have with someone, and somehow you always are used as an example. Sometimes you piss me off, though, and hey, I piss you off too. I'm crazy about you, but we always find a way to get right back where we started, and that's in love. Now, there's way more towards that letter, but I figured I should only read you a small part. And if you think for even just the slightest second that I'm bullshitting in any part of that letter, you're ridiculous. And there's all the pages, front and back. 7 pages front and back. For once, I'm happy, like I said. And if any of you have a problem with it, you need to solve it. Because I think for once in my life, I deserve to be happy. So for all of you who don't think I do and have a problem with me and my actions and my boyfriend, fuck you.